We talk about self-flesh. We're talking about you saying who you are and basing it on your body, basing it on around your culture, basing it on your programming and what you have been taught. And that is self truth. And there's nothing to be ashamed about. But to move on to the next, you want to call it millennium, educated,
These
to
things
move
we say
on
with
and
the
survive
infinite flow, manifest the truth and let love
and
grow.
survive with
Bone
success.
twice green, shield out what you talk
Not
about. Hey, oh
doing things
yeah.
that's
These
unjust.
things we
There
say,
are many,
infinite
many
flow,
scriptures that we will get
manifest
into
truth and let
over
love
time.
grow. Bone
The
twice.
fact that the
Now you
evidence
hear
of
what I hear,
scriptures
see what I say, play like I
is
play.
under
It's
attack
another day, hold on.
by those
We are here,
who need to be saved.
we're here,
They need to be
girl,
rescued.
everywhere.
They
Dun
need
dun,
to
did
be
it,
rescued. It's
and you
only
know.
as you
NYC,
with the
nice,
vortex.
nice, here we go.
There's only
Whoa.
certain windows of
Take it
opportunity
back,
that they
pulling
can
up
catch
the slack. Yeah,
before we
never
start.
hold us back. This is
They
what
will
we
be able
do.
to get a
Yeah.
jump start.
Got
They
that
get
sensation all across the
But
nation.
it's my
Eat what you
intention
want to eat. Be who you supposed to be.
not to take anything
Next level, the galaxy.
for
Traveling up E3 core. What you know about the E3 core? What you know about that? The E3 core. What you know about it? You got money. Up the boom, wang, wang, your money. Out the boom, wang, wang, wang. What you know about the E3 core? What you know about the skate?
neutral.
The next galaxy. Where you be, who you are, where you come from. Who you be, where you are, where you come from. What you supposed to do with your personality. How'd you get here? Who's your boss? Who created you? No one past your mama. That was really crazy. Should I identify the situation? Came from her. She created you. Do you appreciate that? Them, all of them collective. What about United who they be? The deity, creators of you and me.
But these
Big
facts
up, Mama
that I
Sita,
have seen
do ya do?
have eradicated and have
We
changed
got the what?
in
The
my
black and the
in my
gold.
journey. And I wish
Don't
that
forget about the
each
red.
and every one of
Red
you,
to read, the
and
black
some
to
of you
gold,
who
the
want to be
green,
black,
the pink, the
and
white
some of you
untold.
who
What
want
you
to be
do?
white,
Hey, you. I wanna
some in the
let you
white camp
know. I wanna let
want to
you
be black,
know. I
some in the
wanna
black
put
camp
you
want to
in
be white,
the show.
some in the white camp
This is
don't
what
like
I
the blacks,
do all
and some
day.
in the black camp don't like the whites. And then you have a mixture they call mulatto from MU, one who is, and you have mutation. Then you have moot, or to be silenced, or not responsive, MUTE. So all this is put together as a game. The word game is the word jamming, GAME, the G, capital G, and the capital J is the same. So all y'all looking for the missing G is the J. Elongated by what we call pliers, people who are considered to be liars, from those who were architects dealing in geometry and created the letters J and G in the English language. But to continue, I will speak of what I have seen. This is not coming off the top of my head. This is coming from the truth of what I've seen. As I was subjected to many things, not being black, not being white, but being neutral, not being transgender, not being, I would say, being an alien, being an outcast, because of what I found to be truth, what I found to be a lie, and for those who were part of it on both sides. My original black brothers and sisters, it's time to read and understand the supreme culture of our greatness. Today, every tribe of people on the planet Earth has taken a part of our greatness and claimed it for themselves. To add injury to insult, tribes of people who are originally called mankind and half original lie to you every day. Those people who are the agents of the proven enemy. My main job on earth in America is to cover the truth and recover the truth of the curse which leads to the many sickness that goes on in the planet Earth. This sickness is documented in the many thousands of pages in the medical journals. It is time for the original black people of the United States of America to open our eyes and to defend their purpose on the planet Earth. The miseducation from the Board of Education and the lies and mistreatment of the first slavery has left most black original people in a hypnotic spell. This spell has made black leaders lazy and relaxed to false lifestyles that was fed to them through misinformation as a child. To prove to you what I am saying, these strange tribes of people are really your cousins. It is a known fact that we are the original people of the planet Earth. The word cousin is really two words. Co, the C, and the O is abbreviation for company. The sin, S-I-N, is the word that describes the spiritual effect of the curse that was called leprosy. These tribe of people do not have the original black people's soul. Their nature changed to the negative qualities that dwell on the planet Earth. They are called a company of sin. As we proceed to the next phase of the calendar in the year 2000, we must stop trying to live our life with the strange customs of Europeans, the company of sin. The death dance that you now hear is the good news, the helpful hints that is called the God spell or the gospel. We are the instruments of truth and love. As we spell out the true meaning of love that are in God's words, we continue to replace the many words that have stripped the original people from the supreme state of mind. We are the royal bloodline with birthright of all the chosen in the scriptures of God. The death dance is your happy thoughts and positive directions that your family will need to overturn the many traps of this white man's establishment. Today, in the year 2012, living in America is called the second slavery system. With the stroke of their pen, the scholars of economics and the administrators of the schooling department have drafted words to amuse, words that take you away from daily responsibility toward the future of God's children. Their scientists from around the planet Earth has united to lead a larger-than-life chemical warfare against God's original people. Enemy tribes of people come from around the world to use God's chosen original people as human experiments. Millions of experiments in the field of medicine are given to God's chosen original people to find a cure for their sickness called leproma in biblical terms, now called leprosy. In the medical field alone, experimental surgery is done on our original people to find ways of saving their sick 11 main tribes of people. This is another reason why we are not giving a chance to live the knowledge of our great ancestors. Every action of this country's affairs is geared to keep God's chosen original people knocked off balance. America and their white citizens of the United States of America have sinned against God's chosen people. The mathematicians say we were here for 400 years. If you use the calendar, I can prove that we've been here longer than 600 years. This country has robbed our people in every way you could imagine. As they were warned in the writings of our brothers and sisters, that they will have to pay for the deeds of their ancestors. To throw you off guard, G-U-A-R-D, and off good, G-O-O-D, they'll proceed to establish a nation of people like Sodom and Gomorrah. It is time for His Excellency Derek Wade to do the death dance of honor, truth, and love. As I now advance into the reason of my journey in America, which is known as the belly of the beast. The spiritual dance of truth and love will tell all original people of America the great story of our Father who art in heaven. I come not alone, I come with a force that has your every thought worried about your phony life. America will fall in the year 2000. The kingdom of the true and almighty God has come to bring the punishment of the heavens. As I release the word of God in the name of good, the Father, all natural and supernatural powers will I control. The father or father and the master will now turn a deaf ear to those who have been striving to overcome the enemy's plans of destruction. From the silly games of Satan, Satan or man, and his crew of 6 robotic, pale, and black people of doom, the chosen of God's original people will be saved. Just try and think of the real reason that the original people were allowed to integrate with the white race. This was done just to hide their seed in a group of people. All white race that you see today are sick black people. Sick black people who have lost their supreme state of mind and the powers of the heaven. As their weatherman looks in hope that we original people do not release the power that we have in our soul. All who have the curse of leprosy are now in a state of denial. This curse that they have leprosy is one of the reasons for their leaders to pass laws for today's black original slaves to run freely in the many states in America. Just stop for a minute and think. Each state in America has its own governor. The word govern means one who governs. The word govern means one who is in charge. These governors are today's new kings. King with the authority to control the population of that state properly. Population, property, money, voting, schools, jobs, cattle, media, and land. Each state has security measures to keep its citizens and its new slaves in check. The federal government, the United Countries called America, was given power to control and conquer within the state and around the world. As America is the beast of the negative force that fooled many. They fooled many except those of God's chosen, called the purified ones. These purified ones is called the Muklasina. Muklasina are those original people that have been chosen out of the bloodline of God's angels. Each chosen born male and female have been directed to endure a special lifestyle, a lifestyle of simplicity that gives information on your return trip back to the spiritual world. Together we make up the body of what is called the code name Jesus. We are the 144,000, those who are called by the hand of God to defend the righteous souls of his kingdom. America the Beast preys on smaller countries, robbing them of their values. In the name of peace, the United States has robbed many countries out of their silver, their gold, their gas, their diamonds, while instructing many country leaders to participate in the new invisible slavery system. The Red Cross in America is set out to save the lives that were valuable to areas of plans that this country seek to destroy. Has the Red Cross used the charitable cause to participate in a world slavery moment or movement? Living body parts can be stored all over the world for their global slavery plan. The missionaries of their God, whose name is Baal. Baal is one of the names of the many gods that the United States worship. Their god of evil called Baal is largely worshipped and given praise in their sports arena. This is the reason for the word ball. Let's have a ball. You have a lot of balls. Basketballs, footballs, tennis balls. The word tennis is really two words, 10 cents. That is the way that the United States of America makes fun of the 10 Commandments of God's prophet called Moses. 10 sin is really 10 deadly sins. As the lifestyle of the sinful, America goes unnoticed by your so-called black leaders. Black leaders who sold your soul to keep their flame of sin alive. On the global picture, in the area of sports, you have a ticket. After your church, you go to the basketball game or the football game. You play golf, tennis, or basketball. All of these are the rituals that give praise to their god Baal, a god of fire, destructive negativity on the planet Earth. Many of our original are fooled into believing that black superstars are going to release you from your troubles. You are greatly mistaken, misguided, and misrepresented. You have to go through a healing process to regain renewed personality. I will refer to this positive process as transforming. As you start to transform, you will have to change your environment. This will give you different thoughts of your new way to your new life. Although one could not explain the plans or the pains of our ancestors' exodus from Africa to this part of the planet Earth through songs of love and the movement of dance, we have kept struggling towards our return to our higher self. Many of our black political leaders are not concerned for our return to Africa, for they think that they will continue to lead us to the slaughter. Today's leaders never speak of real solutions to the problems in the community. Their problems are all in the communities of America. The problems is our people being governed by outside tribes who have no true knowledge of who we are. The political leaders do not know what is going on in the global world. Many of them do not know how to even use a computer. The fake religious leaders did not take time to find out who you are. The improper teachings has made their imagination wander. Each of you are responsible for the safe passage to the next generation. Whoever rejects the truth that I speak will be left back in misery until someone come along and teach them. It could be one of my students, or it could be your next, you in your next life. Songs of love for the black woman has tailspun. The population of black men in America do not know your real position. You are a caretaker. You are a true creator, not just a baby maker. You are El Bab, the doorway towards heaven. Heaven is inside your womb. You are three-dimensional, Ba, body, soul, Khat. You are solids, liquids, and gases, extending to extra gases called etheric gases. Up into the sky, reflected by the stars. There you are, a shining light on this plan called Earth, or Earth with an H. Instead of doing their work and providing an escape for the future, they're trying to get the most poontang that they can get. A sinful conduct leads to a sinful and hateful generation. As someone has to take the blame for the mishandling of our people, the first to blame is the leaders of our people. How can you lead a people when you have not been properly taught? First, you have to be healed. This process of healing we will talk about at another time. Once you are properly taught, you would represent the Most High God. There would be no negotiation with the lifestyles that are in His kingdom. You would realize that you or your business is His business. You are in an economical country, and we need money to survive as a family and tribe. We would have to live for, with, and by each other. Righteous leaders must broaden their responsibility towards the congregation to make plans to establish homes, businesses, and promote health care for their congregation. Those days of just paying the rent for the church is over. Since it is no longer a fact that the church is a business, your church owners must step up to the reality of your responsibilities toward the people in your congregation. For if you do not, you will find a lot of empty seats in your business. The crying days are over. Outbursts of emotional cries that you call joy is not going to get your congregation what it will need to survive in the next couple of years. What you call praising Jesus is now going to change after I relay to you the reasons why. The moments, those movements were distractions and emotional release. But Jesus taught that there will be rejoicing and exceedingly glad attitude in his congregation. This joy and happiness will also attune your soul to the exercising and position to your health. Exercise to keep not only for the appearance of your exterior looking fresh, but also your internal organs, keeping them healthy. There should be body knowledge that will keep you able to protect you from physical harm. There should be education on how to protect your congregation with the laws that are forcing our children further into the penal system, jail. Each child should have a lawyer for the congregation that is paid by the church. When the church member have a problem, any legal problem, they will be represented. There is no more time to try and fool our people. If your religious leaders don't start to do productive business for God's children, you will feel real dumb real soon. Who am I to introduce such common plans to the people's memory? I am the one who came to clean up the foolishness that you people call religion. So stop waiting for me when I am here. This new world will start with real situations for real problems. You are not going to leave the earth straight to heaven. Heaven on earth will start in you, realizing that you must do for yourself. For the workers of heaven, who you call angels, have always been on earth. It is you who are running away from your responsibility as you run away from death and punishment for your captives. They are killing your children with their nonsense. You have the unity. Now get the business mind behind your unity. In the name of Christ, you can start to look further into your responsibility towards your life. Reverends can start to establish an economical structure for their congregation. You will not have to send out your congregation to the Italians or the Jew or the city or the state to ensure food, clothing, and shelter for your people. You would inform your congregation to spend amongst your own. Each month, you can open up different businesses for your congregation. This way, the money would circulate amongst your congregation. The goals of the church should be concerned with all the children of the people in that congregation. The church needs to establish schools for the children. This way, the government will have to help you with the funds. The children will be able to have informative childhood that will follow them for the rest of their life on earth. The schools could be run by the members of the church. This way, you will save money and give extra time for them to learn. Each child's life should be planned by the church that you attend. This way, his or her service would add on to the many phases of the society that we are missing. Your children and your church should go to school to be a teacher. Who would pay? Everyone in the church would put in money to support the children. Since there are so many churches, we must have one goal with many objectives to reach them. Each church has set up funds for all their children to go to school. Since money is a problem to some of the churches, many programs can be set up to support each church. Teaching our own children will be a must. We have seen the results of integration and given our children to those heathen people. Most of our children are either in jail or some form of sentence to correcting their conduct. We need churches to be in charge of the elementary level of learning. We need churches to establish and teach junior high school level of learning. And we need churches to establish and teach the college curriculum. Whatever money your churches have, you can start to support some kind of need in the community. It could be after school learning and homework. The days of crying and jumping up and down in the church is over. We must start thinking and stop wasting precious time. Skate Master Spark has arrived to give the world the answers to your problems. Seek the truth about this world and you will find it. As I knock on the door to your heart, open up and listen and apply the simple but truthful knowledge that you have been waiting for. It is time to be given the credit for many roles that will free you from slavery and all the different states of mind that the white people had. We made them come together. It took slavery to give this country an economical edge, the unity amongst their people. As they have used us for hundreds of years, it is time to use ourselves for ourselves. I will establish the kingdom of God on earth as it is in heaven. Don't let no one tell you that you have to go to another planet. Don't let no one tell you that you are needed on another planet. You are on earth as a child of God if you would only remember. All powers and thrones are for me to give the children of God the inheritance that was promised for all those endured to the end. I am the spark of life that came from the heavens. No man, woman, country, or world will stop my mission on earth. I am the answer to the prayers that your grandmother and your grandfather prayed for. We never die, we transform into new life. Some are rewarded and some are punished on earth. This punishment is the result of your disobedience to the instructions that were passed on through the many prophets of your time. I've come, I have been through the worst times that any human could go through. Most of the torture that I have endured was to get a better understanding of the many situations that the 144,000 would be in. I come to save the 144,000 so they will be able to teach you and then the world. There will be many that say I am not their Savior. These people are absolutely correct. There is no arguments concerning who I am and what I came to do. For those who are waiting will recognize what I have for them. My descendancy has transformed the many states of mind in each state to combine into one federal government. Tell me what that means, your preachers. How about your political men or even your doctors? How about your lawyers? What that means is that the cursed European nations come together to govern our people by worshiping their God. I say this country came together to eat our people like a piece of meat. The meaning of the word federal is really three words that say they're feeding of earth. FED, feed, AL is the source, ER is energy. The two words, the two letters UR or ER is the name of their god of fire. The two letters AL, the word for the word state of mind into one. And the three letters FED in federal means to feed. So what the word federal means is feeding the souls and the strength of our people to the production and continuity of their God, Earth. It's like throwing us into their fire to be consumed into a new slavery until we die. As we live in the United States of America, it is time to deactivate their true purpose, to take charge of our lives and reverse their sentence to our victory, to show and prove that the original people of the planet, of the first slavery descendancy, are the true rulers of the planet. There is no more secret that we are the chosen people of the Most High God. We, as the true rulers of this planet, must begin to learn about cultivating our wealth, which is our women and our children. By reclaiming our family, we will start to destroy the plans that have held us down for 400 years. As the original black man start to the initiation of being in charge of their life, they will give them back their wealth. The many facts and experiences that we must undertake should be written and memorized for the children. Space must be given to digest this knowledge that I have for you. This way, you will not get drunk with the knowledge. This drunk is called spaced out, sometimes is referred to as space cadets. This conduct is not healthy and leaves a gap in your family lives. As we are pressed for time to ensure a complete understanding of the information, it is necessary to implore the 99 attributes that are a part of our spiritual character, to expel the negative forces that have held us down for 400 years. One must begin to attune themselves with the 24 hours of the day. As the sunrise, we are the sun of the universe. Also rise and take part in the morning wake up. Meditation should be done to get in tune with our inner self. Your inner self has been overlooked and is in need of attention. By listening to your heartbeat and concentrating on your inner organs, you begin to start to understand yourself. To know thyself is to love thyself. You cannot love anyone without loving yourself. Through peer pressure, in your early days of schooling, you have been taught to always look outside of yourself. Through your eyes, you have seen all the troubles of the world. Most of these troubles was because you never took the time to fully understand the workings of yourself, the body. Body parts like breasts have been exploited. So you fall into the level of a beast and you get weak from a pair of breasts. You have been denied the purpose of the body and their parts. So when you see a girl, you think it's just for sex. So what happened is this attraction that women have over you, they use it to control you. This was not a bad thing because you were uncontrollable. The woman took over their responsibility. They said I was crazy for the love I have for me, the love I have inside of me. For you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you too. Huh, huh, huh. Yeah, they said I was crazy because the love I had inside of me for you, and you too, and you too, and you too. Yeah. Mm. And when I got the love, I snatched it from an intersection for the direction of the perfection. For you, and you too, and you too, and you too. And I gave it to your brother because I knew you was aborted and retorted and infiltration in your organization. And so I gave it to your brother in the form of the 7-pointed star. In a root chakra between the legs of the earth, you see.